It's been a big week here at the stable. It usually is, right? I think I've started most of my videos this year. It's been a big week at the stable. It's been a great week at the stable. It just felt like a tremendous year for us, both racing, acquiring babies, and just overall stuff going on. I had a busy week myself this week. I had to go over to Pennsylvania, wanted to get a look at the horses we had there. They seem tired. This time of year, lots of horses are. I mean, listen, it's 4:30. I just finished trying to qualify Crooksy for Brenda at Flamborough. He made a break, and he's tired, right? You can't go all year, especially when you have horses that have ailments throughout the year. Like Crooksy made breaks and got out of gear. That weighs on a horse too, right? And, you know, when they become tired, it almost seems like they get tired quicker. And it comes on, and this big giant, oh my God, what happened to the horse? That's what happens when you're dealing with horses that are making breaks or aren't really having a tremendously good year, and that happens. And you have to recognize that and give the horses some time, turn them out. So that's exactly what we're going to do here with Crooksy, and it happened 3 times this last week with Walk on the Moon, Mama Knows Best, and I'm a Lovely Lady. They were adequate, right? Walk on the Moon should have won. Now, I had some people say you can't drive him like that, and you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm going to tell you something. You can't drive him like that as a 4-year-old, then he's not going to be staying with us. Good horses don't need to be tripped out all the time. Good horses find their way to the winner's circle, and the move I made at the quarter pole the other day, make no mistake, was the winning move for Walk on the Moon. He just wasn't comfortable on the front end, and maybe, you know, quite frankly, I didn't think he was tired. How could you think that? He just went in 53, but he did have a long year, so maybe he was a little tired. And as I said, I would let him tell us when he was going out to the field, and he did. In my mind, he was loud and clear. So that's where he went. I'm a Lovely Lady's always been, you know, it's a filly that raced tough this year, got roughed up a couple of times, had a good run a couple of times, but when we put her on Lasek, she was starting to get a little tired. And the other day, I thought she raced great. A little unfair of her to judge her from getting away 10th at the half. I thought she raced well, but to give her a little time, certainly isn't going to be a bad thing. Since we're returning out, I'm a Mama Knows Best and Walk on the Moon anyway. Give her some time out in the field. We'll give her a month off. We'll see how she is. So I'll tell you exactly how the time frame, how I decide when the horses, how long they're going to be out for. How much weight can you put on them? So I asked Wayne and Jacob Schaefer. I talked to Wayne the other day. I said, hey, can you pick those 3 horses up at the Meadows and turn them out for 100 pounds? That's how long they're turned out for. However long it takes you to put 100 pounds on them comfortably. I suspect I would like it to be a month, because I'd like Walk on the Moon to fit into the same mold that we're looking at for Aglarium and a couple other horses. Race them through April, then look to rest them again and aim for that, for a little bit of maturity and growth, and aim for that late summer, early fall type situation for those horses. All that awaits ordinary, just run-of-the-mill good horses in their 4-year-old season is hardship. It's tough. You know, jumping into that aged category of racing, it's tough. It's not an easy transition, and we want to be able to do that in the easiest way for them. So all 3 of those horses, I would like to say to you, will be out a month, but that will be on them. They'll be out for 100 pounds. That's how long they'll be out for. So the horses racing right now look pretty good. What about our girl, So and Sue? You know, a little late getting to dinner, but she was good the other night. What I mean by that is we bought her to do well towards the end of the summer, into the fall, certainly in the consolation if we could, and it was a chore to get her right. At the Meadows, I thought the qualifier was good, and then she lost her mind in the race. And then the requalification looked good, but they don't pay you anything for qualifying, and I'm not really interested in owning a qualifying queen. So I was interested the other night, but I was on pins and needles watching the race too. You know, it was only an Elmer's 2 event, but a filly that I liked. I like So and Sue. So I wanted to see her do good. James and I, the last thing I want to do is bombard James with a bunch of information. Oh, you got to do this, and then you can't do that. And, oh, don't forget to do this. No. Listen, you've driven horses like her 100 times. Keep her as quiet and easygoing as you can, and when she starts to get agitated, buckle up. And that's pretty much what it came down to. He followed the gate down onto the track when it was going out to the start, and she was quiet. He said a couple little tentative steps at the start, much like where Wilbur lost her. And we had her hobbles tightened up a little bit the other night. I said, listen, I'd rather her tired in the hobbles and a flat line than saying our hobbles need to be a hole tighter on coming off a break. So her hobbles were a little snug the other night, but she's still a pretty decent cold headwind, 56-3 at Mohawk. I believe that was a new lifetime mark. I'm not positive. I believe it is. But the way she did it was so good, right? Sit, float out into cover, follow, attack down the lane, just get there at the last second. And I was very happy with what I saw from So and Sue. We have Globetrotting racing this week, looking for a flat mile from her. We opted to take the hobbles off her. I've been an opponent, a proponent of having them off for quite a while. I believe that she's a better horse without them. I know Matt Kikali winning 52 without them on. Brian Sears winning 52 with... I think they were on the night. They might have been on the night Brian Sears drove her. Well, she's won in 52 in a piece with and without them this year. James schooled her the other day. She hit the bike and made a break. Our bigger bike is home now from Ohio, so she'll be racing in that bigger bike. I assume it's Monday. It's got to be Monday she's racing. On Monday, she'll race in that bigger bike, and hopefully we'll have some luck. We did draw the 9-hole, so we'll see how that plays out. Really, in a perfect world, float out, get away 5th or 6th, get out into cover and attack down the lane. The only time she's ever looked susceptible was leaving the gate or finishing up. She made that break on Yannick. The night she looked like she was going to win in 51 that night, and made that break on Yannick. And then got a little out of gear late in the stretch after that at times also. So I think she's a good fit for James, I think. You know, he knows what he's doing with her. She's seen her a long time, although he hasn't spent a lot of time driving Globetrotting. I don't think he's ever driven Globetrotting. He's trained her plenty and been around her since she was a baby. So I can't wait to see her race on Monday. Yes, it's been racing great again. Raced good again the other night. A little short the other night. Remember, we scratched him the week before. Lauren said the track wasn't great all week, so she didn't want to train him hard. Another smart decision by her. She's turned out to be a real asset in Ohio. So he's racing tomorrow night. It'll be a little tighter, a little sharper. We'll see how he is this week. Who else we got? Blizz was the winner this week. Northern Blizzard looked good, 58 in the mud. Very happy there. And then Compass was second also. Stonebridge Simba was second. I was in Pennsylvania racing that afternoon. I watched Stonebridge Simba race live with my own eyes at night, and I was home and in the barn the next day. So a long week for a long day that day for me. But at the same time, we're getting stuff done, right? We got our horses in Pennsylvania turned out. I believe they need to be turned out for, as I said, 100 pounds. Got to take a look at some of the horses in Ohio, bring some of the babies home. Every baby will be in our barn and ready to go on drone day. That's our hope, anyway. I told Dave and a couple of their clients, I'll try and get you guys a video of Victor Cruz and Whispering Song this week, because you haven't seen them since Ohio, since that first baby day that we went with them. So I'll try and get you guys a video of Victor Cruz with the hobbles on and Whispering Song. That will be my hopeful pledge to you. So I've been very happy with those horses. Swan's Honey is just arriving home today. It's been 8 days. It was a real tough time getting a horse back here from New Jersey because there's so many major trucking companies going to Florida and back this time of year. It's tough just to swing by New Jersey, grab a horse, and bring it back to Ontario. I had a real tough time. I had to get the horse to Northfield Park from New Jersey with one shipper, and then have the other shipper pick her up at Northfield Park and bring her home. So she's arriving tonight also. So we'll have Swan's Honey here and ready to go. Will she race this Thursday? You know what? I'm going to jog her on Sunday morning, then we'll make a decision about Thursday. I don't know if that would be a smart thing to do, but we'll see. We'll see how she feels. I'll take a look at her legs, I'll take a look at her, and then we'll see how she feels on the track and make a decision after that. I would say there's a little less than 50-50 chance you're going to see her out on Thursday at Mohawk. And then, obviously, Airstrike raced on Monday. He should be a little better, a little sharper. He's got the rail. James knows him now. We had him to the vet. I think you're probably going to see a tiny bit improvement from Airstrike. So for those of you gamblers out there, if you think if he was a little bit better than last week, that he's probably worth having a look at, then feel free, because he should be a little bit better than he was last week. we'll see the horses. You never know. But with this horse, I think you'll see a little improvement from him tomorrow night. We saw all the babies go today. Man, oh man, I did an in-depth look at all the babies. Tell you which ones caught my eye. Now, kind of food for thought. I like doing these because I like to tell people what horses impressed me on any given day. I know that James was super impressed with Landing Strip. In fact, his quote to me was, Anthony, I think I could train this horse in 25 right now. He is awesome. So that was James. I know he loved Una Madonna. He thought she was really, really good. I'm just going to look at who else James went with, see if he told me about any horses. Una Madonna in the first he said he loved. Horn Player he said was fantastic also. GJ's ATM, easily I think right now anyway, the leader of the Illinois crew, and fits in with our Colts and Fillies training down well. This is a good gated, really good looking colt. I'm really impressed with him. I can't say that James said anything more than he went well, but I know that I've been very impressed with him also. And then little two made a break on James. So my day today, I was super impressed with Merchant Man. I think he continues to be one of the better horses we have at this point. Again, take everything I say about the babies with not a grain of salt, maybe a teaspoon or maybe a tablespoon of salt. It's way too early to even remotely tell, and what I think in November means nothing anyway. So Merchant Man, I think, is a horse that catches my eye. Cutie Cumber, I thought, was fantastic. Again, just horses I went with. I know that Jimmy said he loved Carter Michael Deal. Danny, I know, loves Spitfire Overseas. So we all have our favorites that we find early on that we go with on a regular basis. I didn't get a chance to go with Tactor today. Who did I go with in there? I went with Dreamin'. He's okay. He looks nice. Columbus, I can tell you, we'll probably talk about later in the winter. He does need castrated. He does need to get his head on straight. Now, the obvious answer to what I just said is, geez, man, it's November 26th. I get it. It is. But as we see the other horses starting to understand their work and get their ears up and starting to pay attention to what's going on, you see the ones that are goofing off and really don't want to do their work. Listen, 3 Point Blue Chip was that goof last year. But the difference between him and Columbus is I really couldn't geld 3 Point Blue Chip, and I absolutely can geld Columbus. So, and this isn't a strike on Columbus. We gelded Unbeatable Kemp for the same very reasons. And yes, it did come down to what they were, where we got them, how much they were. Of course, it did play a role. And when it comes to Columbus, he will be castrated very soon. I can tell you that Johnny McKinnon couldn't stop talking about how good Magical Tom was. I guess he wasn't the only one. Nobody missed him because I got home, pulled up our site, and all the shares were gone on Magical Tom. I let you go a little 2 weeks longer than I should have. But nevertheless, I've been in touch with Jason. I'm just trying to figure out when the horses are getting back from the States. I'm almost to the farm now. That's why I'm asking. Who else was good today that people talked about? Hill Street Blues, Brody liked. Amy loved Real Fear. Pretty hard not to. He's a beautiful horse. I liked Sipping on My Shine. Thought he was good. Swing Senorita looked fantastic for Johnny. Loves this filly, as he should. She's beautiful. And some of our best horses really didn't get to go today, right? Tactile Tactor didn't go. Sister Solange didn't go. Rito Legacy looked awesome today. Crantini, you can tell there's a nice horse in there. She's going to take some polishing, but there's a very, very nice horse in there. Those are just a few of the horses that I thought caught my eye quite a bit this week. Now, in closing, obviously, I guess I can tell you now, since this video is on Monday, there's a couple of horses that we are likely putting claims in on. Race 1 on Sunday, we should have put a claim in on Tour de Lindy. Maybe we got him, maybe we don't. I don't know. You'll know by the time you watch this. And are also eligible who's in race 3. I think his name is Guilty Desire, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the two horses we're putting claims in on Sunday. Now, I said multiple horses for a simple reason. Race 1 and race 3, if we don't get, there'll be lots of claims in on Tour de Lindy. I think that's his name, Tour de Lindy. There'll be lots of claims in on that horse. If we don't get them, we'll then transfer our claim check over and attempt to claim Guilty, I think it's Guilty Desire, out of race number 3. There's a very good chance we'll get neither of those horses, but I believe we're going to be putting a claim in on both. Well, one then the other. Hopefully we don't even see it claiming on Guilty Desire because we already got Tour de Lindy. So, that's where we're at right now. A little shorter video this week, a little more concise. Good luck to everybody with Jazzy Judy on Monday also. Tonight, after you read this video, Jazzy Judy is even money racing in the first leg of the Delaware Sire Stakes in Dover, Delaware. Our last stake race of the year, unless you count the claiming series, is in the late closers at Woodbine, but the last regional Sire Stake race of the year, that division, will be coming up starting on Monday for Jazzy Judy. She can't look much better than her coming in, a 12-length victory in with very similar animals that she's racing to. Some of them were in that race that she won the other night. So good luck to the Jazzy Judy group. I'll be watching with bated breath and hoping for the best. So that is your opening. Still tons going on. We have a number of horses rendering in the winter series at Mohawk. A number of horses getting ready to race right here. A number of horses joining the stable.ca. We're not done yet. If there's other horses that make sense, that look like they should be our horses, then I'll buy them. I'll reach out. I'll reach out to all of our clients. If you guys still want race horses, which I assume you do, then we'll be doing some work in the near future. When it comes to the claiming series, just keep in mind, one that we absolutely are targeting is the $40,000 claiming series at Mohawk, January the 3rd, 2nd, 1st. Might be the 1st, might be New Year's Day. I suspect there'll be some horses in that 40 claiming series, and I want to make sure that we have one of ours in there too. So we may race a horse in there, but we're definitely going to be actively claiming out of there also. So a busy winter for us, but the summer of 2022, so to speak, kicked off today with our, I guess, second official drone session, but the first one where you really got to see and got a look at the horses doing their work and starting to do it well. So I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you have a better week next week. Hope everybody's healthy. I will talk to all of you very, very soon. Take care.